Out here at Hudson Mills Metro Park, we're going to be reviewing the Victory Line Skyway, Champ, and Bel Air today for you guys. It's a nice blend of plastic. It's kind of see-through a little bit. It's a little stiffer this way, not quite as pliable. It's got, I think, a little better torque resistance than the Major Line plastic, which a lot of the discs are already out in. So we're going to give these a shot out here today and see how they fly, see how they hold up to some torque.
Looking forward to see this Victory Line Bel Air fly. I'm finding that it's more overstable than the Major Line, so you got more power or you want to go left if you're a righty backhand thrower. Bel Air, I think, is going to be the ticket for those mid-range shots. So
for sure. Didn't quite get her up there. Yeah, she's nice and stable.
Yeah, no pop-up like I feel like the Major Line.
Major Line would have came up and got flat on that. Yeah, it was the first throw of the day, you know.
Yeah.
Not quite loosened up yet.
Little turn?
Yeah, I'd say, you know, definitely get it up at least flat.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Beauty.
Yeah. Go. Good little zip on them. Still quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a little more flatter. Just a touch of Annie. Yep.
We both sawed one off and both threw one pretty good. I think, you know, for the lower shots, like this one's got that cross branch and the low ceiling, I think the Victory Line kind of has a little better late lift than the Major Line, just because it's a little more overstable. So you can pop it a little lower and, you know, get it to carry out at the end. If you get it nice and flat and get it, it's like that late lift at the end when it goes from flat to hyzer, which is real nice for carrying that extra 75 feet past that low branch.
Yeah, especially that low ceiling, for sure. Man, this fairway is looking tight. I don't think I'm gonna try to get super aggressive, but just low, beam it, little anhyzer, tight flex line, I think.
Just keep it in play. Yeah, it's 480 foot. It's a bit of a stretch to get it all the way down there right now, but there's a big tree blocking, you know, just short and right of it, and it's kind of where you need to be in the airspace if you're trying to get there. And 480 is like kind of right at the edge of my max distance range right now with a good tailwind.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
all right. Well,
I think we got a little headwind here, so I think this will be a good test for the, you know, the overall stability of the.
Yeah. Keep it in the short stuff. Oh yeah. She came back nice.
Caught some short hair on that one. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Goes far, just speed 11, but that's a sweet spot, I think, for my arm speed.
I think so. What do we got? We do have just a touch of head cross here.
There we go.
I mean, if you like carbon copies of your first one, it's a good one.
Same. I think we both just duplicated
both of our shots.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. You can definitely hit it really hard. And he doesn't want to, you know, do this much at all.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to turn much at all. And that was slight headwind, and we still had to really power on it to get it over. I think the Major Line, if we did that, it would probably kind of hold over. Maybe the heavier weights might hang a little bit better, but you get a lighter weight Major Line one, and it's definitely going to want to hold over.
I definitely feel a little more comfortable crunching on that Victory Line.
Putting the big torque on it, yeah. I do too.
Let's rip a Major Line, just see what she does.
just as we thought. It holds a little bit better, which is, you know, a useful shot,
but
definitely a little less torque resistant.
But yeah, I crunch same as the Victory, and I think
looked
that
like
Victory,
a similar throw for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, banging up on that tree, just right of the tree, about 40, a little bit past it. Testing the Victory line Bel Air, little mid-range hole. That last hole was, you know, 480, so it was definitely a driver type hole. This hole's a little 300 into the wind slightly. I think it's gonna be a good test for this disc, slightly into the wind, you know, see how much torque it'll hold and how much anhyzer we have to put on to get it to go straight, because I don't think you can hyzer flip these at all. They're a little more stable than the major line Bel Airs.
I'm gonna be putting a little anhyzer on it. I feel where major line I might be throwing. If I was throwing the major line Bel Air, I might throw it flat. Here. Where this, I'm
gonna have to tip it. Gonna have to tip it up a little bit, definitely, because it's definitely have some fight back. Slight headwind, I think it'll be a good test for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Flat with this one.
I'm gonna try to swing it up a little higher at that tree on the right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That looks like the play. Keeping it over the short grass as much as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Got to hit it a little hard, like this.
Yeah.
It's only 300, but that wind is slowing that midi down.
Yeah, definitely. So slower discs definitely get pounded by a headwind.
Yeah.
You got to really hit them hard to get them to go anywhere forward into that headwind when you're using a slower speed disc.
Yeah.
We're out here on hole B on the original course at Hudson Mills. We got a little 335-foot hole. Kind of a decent little 10 to 15 mile an hour headwinds. Probably going to make it play like 345, 350, 360, somewhere in that range. Nice open, kind of real wide open grassy area. The basket sits off to the left behind that tree and the rock over there. And see if we can just kind of hit it flat and let it bleed into the left at the end, and not play much of a swoop.
Just ride it
flat and riding back to the left with the Victory line Skyway. Oh, short of the rock.
Good line though.
Yep.
Yeah. Probably I need to get a little flatter.
Yeah, I like the consistency of that type release with this disc, you know, just nice and flat, and it's guaranteed almost to come back to the left almost in any wind, except for maybe a 40, you know, dead headwind. But I'm seeing that it's really stable into a headwind with a slight hyzer release or even flat.
Yeah.
I'm really liking the dynamics of this and how it comes off the hand and how it flies out into that wind. I think those are on top of each other. Big skip. Oh, that was it.
Yeah, I liked the wideness you had on that. It was like get a little lower, but
almost take the rock out of play, but it brings the tree into play. But yeah, that low ceiling out there makes it tough, you know, because you got to be super low and heated to get there.
I wasn't worried about it flipping either. Like I hammered it hard and pretty flat, and it held good.
It did what it was asked to do.
Exactly.
For sure. Do some more testing with the Victory line Bel Air. This hole's about the same distance as the other one we tested over there, 300 feet exactly. But this one sets up a little differently. This one kind of you have to throw a little bit of an anhyzer off the tee pad and kind of let it slow flex back out. Where the other one was like a straight shot and you almost wanted to go left at the end only. This one's going to take just a little bit of a flex shot because the ceiling on the right hand side is pretty low, so there's no way to hyzer it to this hole. It's a little bit uphill where the other one was a little bit downhill, so it's almost a good, you know.
Yeah. And we got a touch of a tailwind versus ripping into the head. Not that it was a super strong, but that definitely played. Yeah, that played into it. So
slightly different release angle on this one for this hole. And we'll see if they can come back. I like the looks of this for this disc right here. Didn't hit it. All right, 20 something feet off the edge there. These things are a little more overstable than I'm giving them credit for right out of the gate.
Yeah. So definitely get that nose angle down a little,
Yeah.
let her turn.
Yep. If you're gonna put it high like I did, I think I threw it a little too high and a little too flat.
Yeah, that's kind of what I want, a little higher, just gentle.
Yeah, especially with the tailwind.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to bend it on the back side of the tree, but
all right,
showed off that stability.
Yeah, they definitely have some overstability with the tailwind here, and you really got to get them over. You got to force them over and finish over. Not just setting the angle off your hand, it's finishing that angle through the throw. Felt like I did a lot better with finishing the angle there, and it still wanted to bleed back left, and I felt like I hit that hard enough to stay right of the tree, and it did not.
Yeah.
But it's you know, circle's edge putt, so it's sufficient. But I think if you can hit this one definitely a little harder and a little more right than any of the other ones we've thrown yet, and I think it'll work. They're beefy, man.
Yeah.
I'm really super impressed by the beefiness of these, and I think they'll be great when you're facing big winds and you need that mid-range type shot. This will be the one you want to go to if you're throwing anything slightly less than 300 in a huge wind.
There it is.
Oh. It seemed to work.
Good line, not quite the D, but
yeah, I think it's harder to get the D when you're going under something super low like that. Just barely missed it on the angle again. And okay, I finally hit the line I was looking for on that first white one. Gave it a little flash the chains a little bit there.
Yeah, that's exactly how we were drawing it up.
Yep. We're gonna check out the Victory Line Champ here on a fairly short hole. It's 200-ish. Got some low ceiling coverage, you know, not much tree in the way except on the right hand side. These are probably going to be a little more overstable than your other Trophy Line Champs, and I think we're gonna have to hit these with just a bit of Anheuser and hit them hard to get under that ceiling, get all the way to this pin. It's fairly low ceiling. Dana, he's got the tie-dye, the American flag tie-dyed one with some splotchiness, and we can give it a rip.
Let's do it. Yeah, it's stable. Nice shot.
Thanks. A little bit long, but it did exactly what I was thinking it was going to do. You know, to come over it with a little bit of ante, and it just straightens up kind of the rest of the way. This hole's a little longer. I think it's 230 feet, slightly different. There's a little bit more ceiling. You know, it's high ceiling all the way down. There's nothing really making you throw it low, but there's a little more left to right blockage on this one. So this one's gonna have to remain on a pretty tight S curve or fairly straight. And these things have been fairly overstable for me for throwing them, and they're hard to keep on a dead straight line, because at the end they definitely want to bleed off. Definitely want. I feel like I have to get up over on it just a little bit for it to stay kind of straight at the end.
Yep. Yeah, this is going to be a tight little S. Even though it's only 230 and it's a putter, it's still going to be a little S shot, I think.
For sure.
Good touch.
Thanks.
Ooh, come on.
Yep, nice usage of airspace there.
Yeah, definitely able to hit it. Throw it hard.
Yeah, I'm definitely not worried about it tailing off to the right at all.
No.
Caught a little tree at the end, but I extra hammered on that one just to see, you know, what it would do, and it definitely came right back out of it. And if there wasn't a tree there, that's finishing and going probably a little bit past the basket. Finishing up our review of the Victory Line Skyway Champ and Bel Air. I think all in all, they're just a notch, a bump up in stability and torque resistance than the major line. Really like the way the Skyway feels. You can really hit it a lot harder, I think, you know, even with a little bit of Annie than the major line Skyway. And same thing with the Bel Air for sure. You can slam on that thing with a little Annie and it's coming back.
Yeah.
And, you know, the Champ it's a reliable putter type disc that you can throw with some heat and some Annie, pop it really hard, and you know it's going to come back to the left. Which a lot of putters, you know, they want to bleed right at the end. If you throw them really hard, and these definitely want to come back a little bit.
Yeah.
If you're throwing in a little headwind situation or windy spot, these are definitely going to be a go-to for you. Keep it going left at the end of your upshot.
Yeah, I think if you got more power and the major line was popping and turning a little bit, Victory Line's going to be the ticket. Or when the winds are up and you got to rip into that headwind, the Victory Line might be the one to throw versus whether it's the Bel Air or any of these three molds.
I think any of these three are just a notch above in stability and torque resistance of the major line.
The Victory Line is out and available now. You can find that at ClimoDiscGolf.com or head into your favorite local disc golf shop or online, your favorite online retailer. Wherever it is, you buy discs, pick up the Victory Line.